All right, JMTV show 167, still the 60s. Good evening, gentlemen.
The
Hello,
gang of
gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello, Dave. Hello,
Yeah.
Will.
How are you guys?
Good.
Oh, looking good. The show's looking good tonight. Everybody's looking good.
It's true. We're all clean and neat, and I'm a little shiny, but otherwise we're good.
A little shot. Yeah, I was like, polish
Yeah.
the shine off the lights, you know.
That's right. Put too much shoe
But
shine on.
yeah, Bill Noman was saying, remember, how come everything works now? It's like, boom, here goes the whole show, you know.
You know, it's funny. We used to have to do a pre-turn on thing
God.
because I have OS problems here anyway. My operating system is they've wanted me to get a new one for a long time, and I'm just dealing with it. But
Black Friday, is it Black Friday this Friday?
Yeah, you don't get any breaks on the computers that I have, though. You don't get any breaks on the
No,
Apple.
you gotta go get a MacBook Air M1 or M2. You get it for like $700 for a brand new, powerful whatever. But
sad to say, $700 right now is a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Christmas is coming. I'm still paying for that friggin' wedding. It's like,
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh God.
What a joyous year it was. Now it's like poverty. Plus, like I went to the store before, and like, oh my God, the grocery prices are insane now. Like insane.
It's so true. I literally, and I go to the store a lot because, it's just two people usually here, and I can't go to Costco and buy 8 years worth of chicken breasts. Basically I don't need 60 rolls of toilet paper, so
that's right.
Basically, we go there, you get avocados, you get an avocado, you're not going to be back there again in 4 days. That it's just there's no way going. I cannot walk out of there for less than about $48 for whatever I'm picking up. And it's usually more like 60. I went today, it was like $87. I had a couple of avocados, some Brussels sprouts.
What can I get? God forbid you have to buy a bottle of olive oil or something like $25. Like what?
Here in Boston, it's like twice that. I know exactly what you mean, Bill. You go in, you buy like a couple of things, and you're like, how is this $50 for this? I only got 4 items,
Yeah,
right. And then you see people who shop at Whole Foods, and you're like, oh my God, what cost me $50 is costing you $250.
Well, that's right. See, in Pennsylvania, you go out there and they have like a Walmart with supermarket in the Walmart, the super duper Walmart. And it's like half price. Or you go to Aldi's. I don't know if you ever go to Aldi's. And it's
I don't think they have it out here.
Oh my God. Well, Aldi's is so great. They got one in Fairfield now. And they've got like off Tungus Hill Road, and they got one on my way back to PA. So I usually stop and go to Aldi, which is great. And Aldi's is literally half the price. Like literally, like you go in there. Today I went into a non-store like that in Connecticut. And
is it a club? Is Aldi's a club, or is it
no? I went into like it, like in Bethel, they have like Carolucci's Market, and it like on Route 7 and they have that, and they like these family-owned, local branded, because they don't have Walmarts here much, and that sort of thing. Certainly not for groceries. And those places are like orange juice. The suggested manufacturer's retail price is $5, and that's what you're paying for a little container of it.
Yeah,
where you get it for half price someplace else. But it was shocking to me. Like I saw a little thing of mushrooms for like $4.99. I was like, wait, they're like $2 at Aldi's. Like, what's happening?
I could pick them up in the woods if I wanted to, although I don't know what would happen to me if I ate them. Yeah, but
then I go to like do you have Perkins here in Connecticut? Do you know what Perkins is?
I don't know that we do.
Denny's and Perkins are like the diner of America. We have actual diners in the Northeast. We're so lucky. But like for the rest of the country, you have Perkins and Denny's. You got Cracker Barrel, which I love, but you got Perkins and Denny's, and you go to Perkins, right? And they have like the over 50 menu, and I'm like, the over 50 menu. And I'm like, I'm not ordering from the over 50 menu. And then I look at the over 50 menu, and it's like a whole dinner with dessert and coffee and whatever for like $8.99. I'm like, I'm ordering for the over 50.
I'm over 50. I'm way over 50. I am really as over 50 as you can be.
Oh my God. Yeah. So over 50, like who dreamt up that menu? You know?
Yeah.
I'm a lot closer to 80 than I am to 50
There
right
you go.
now.
Right. There you go.
I don't know what to think when some kid at a cash register gives me the senior citizen discount. Because on one hand, I want to say like, "How dare you!" And on the other hand, I'm like, hey, "I saved some money." I mean, like, thank you. You know.
Oh no, I'll take anything. I'll take like the movie stuff. To me, once you qualify for this stuff, it's like, sure, what the fuck? What do I care?
I have not joined I have not joined AARP. Okay, I got that when I was 50. I got the flyer. Like you can win the the little bag that says AARP that you can hang around your shoulder. And I'm like, I am not. I'm holding out for something better than the bag, and so it hasn't gotten any better.
Well, I joined it like early on because I had already hit my years of no longer being basically functional in the business world, so I was like, I was looking at things in terms of, you would get stuff about insurance, and you would get stuff about, like sort of trade union kind of stuff where there might be some, efficiencies in the thing. And I'm down with whatever I've lived long enough to qualify for. I'm down with,
That's it.
Give it to me.
That's it. This is the old geezer start of GMTV. Like we don't usually do this.
Yeah, normally we're like super hip.
There was a squirrel on my lawn. That ever pissed me off.
When I was in Nam, we used to deal with this.
Get off my lawn,
than you kids.
Oh my God!
Get off my porch.
Bill Nolan, do a song. Save us.
Okay, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what's anybody in the mood for. Well,
not even David Robinson. He's like, I'm not chiming in on this.
David's like, he's being very quiet.
Okay, I'm gonna do because is it like National Base Day? Is that what it is today?
What?
National Base Day?
Is it something like that?
Like the Christmas tree stand, or like the instrument?
Well, yeah.
I thought it was one of those things. Because if it's not,
like a bass player,
screw the bass players then.
Yeah,
it's not,
I thought it was National Drummers Day.
Oh, why? Why? Because I accidentally posted. Where the heck is it? Like give some bass players some loving. I accidentally pushed that button. It was some sarcastic.
Yeah, that was just reinforcing something that I did see.
Really?
On Facebook, but I don't remember whether it was today or yesterday or the day before.
I was going through the
or a show.
We had.
Yeah, right. Show 62, which as it turns out was a year and a half ago, and now we're still at 67. Like, what the hell?
Right. Exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna do Joni Mitchell's song because my friend Fonda was like, we were sort of conversing about Joni Mitchell, and sometimes I accidentally hit my guitar volume thing, which is not good. You can hear that? The big man arrives. Disco dancers greet him. Plainclothes cops greet him. Small town big man. Fresh lipstick glistening. Sophomore jive from victims of typewriters. The band sounds like typewriters. The big man, he's not listening. His eyes hold Edith, his left hand holds his right. What does that hand decide? That he grips it so tight. Edith in the ring, the passed over girls are conferring. The man with a diamond ring is purring. All clause for now withdrawn. One by one, they bring his renegade stories to her, his crimes and his glories to her. In challenge they look on. Women he has wanted grow old too soon. They tilt their tired faces gently to the moon. Edith in his bed, the plane in the rain is humming. The wires in the walls are humming. Some song, some mysterious song. Bars in her head, beating frantic and snowblind, romantic and snowblind. She says its crime belong. Edith and the kingpin, each with charms to sway, are staring eye to eye. They dare not look away. They dare not look away.
Nice.
It's
Beautiful.
kind of a deep cut, but from an album that history is beginning to pull up. It was one of her more challenging albums at the time when it came out, called "The Hissing of Summer Lawns," and it was kind of, she was coming off, stuff that was more popular, and then she went in a direction. She had one of the songs had, the drums of Burundi on it for you drummers.
Okay.
She took some shots like she does, and now it's kind of been, it's kind of like the George Harrison of Joni Mitchell albums. Like now suddenly it's like, I really like that one,
I didn't know what that one was actually like a part of the sound. Wow.
Right. Hey, Will, is Will's voice low for everybody else or just me?
A little bit.
A little bit low?
Turn it up.
Break
it up.
Oh, hang on.
The sound man's least favorite hand gesture. This one,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
They look at the sound man and they go, you're like,
wait,
does that mean turn it up or turn it down?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. How's this? Better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
I'll try not to. I'll
You
try
guys
not to
sound really
mumble.
good. You sound really good. And I am enjoying hearing all you guys coming out of my PA system instead of having something in my ears.
Oh, so you're actually getting it. You're getting it like
Bill,
out of a
it's
speaker.
like, Bill, check this out. You're playing, and I feel like I'm in a club in front, sitting up front.
And there's no cover. I can tell you that right now. There's no cover.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. It's great. It's great, guys.
How is it that you're not getting feedback when you do that for the folks at home?
Amazing software. The amazing people at StreamYard are taking care of our audio.
That's why we play on Jam TV, because you don't get any feedback. That's a good thing.
That's right. Nobody can say anything to you. Yeah.
Would you say, Ed, that much less people watch it than used to?
It's funny. Yeah, I'd say so, but there are a bunch of people watching now. Like the gauges I have are all full, and there's definitely we get a lot of views on YouTube and on Facebook still. So we're still very popular in Asia. Hello to our Asian friends. Good morning to you.
We're like kind of one of those 90s jazz rock bands. We're very popular in Asia.
Right, exactly. We're making it in Japan. No, we like Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, especially Korea, and
Harman Kardon.
Yeah, like everything. There you go.
Well, that makes sense.
So there are people and feedback. It's it's weird. Like sometimes I watch. I this is like stupid, but I sometimes it's egomaniacal and stupid. Like I watch the people on like the other people who go to like they're on TV like 6 hours a day every day, or they do like the Today Show or some stuff or whatever. And they're like every day they go to the studio and they make whatever, they sit down. Like I don't do my makeup, but I put a shirt on and I sit and I turn the lights and I plug everything in.
Shave your chest.
But then right. And then what happens is you do the show and then you're like, and good to see you. We'll see you next week. And then you're like sitting in a studio kind of alone. I can't imagine that the union guys are at the studio. They're like, all right, pack the cameras up. And they're not like, maybe they have some yes man going, you were great. That was really super. But it's kind of a lonely thing,
It's a very weird thing. You don't walk off the stage and like, well, hey, everybody, have people who want to meet you and other people that want you. Hey, we sounded great. It's like, you walk out in the living room and go, hello.
I have friends who say to me, they're like, the people in Asia that watch you, they think you're actually somebody. They think you're somebody. Like they don't. I'm like, I'm somebody. And they're like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, sure. We believe you. Yeah.
In the most technical sense, you damn well are somebody.
I am a person. As far as I know, I'm not an AI yet.
Yeah.
But by the way, I know you have no interest in sports, Ed, but I am a
curling. I like curling. I like skiing.
I can give you something that I think you might appreciate. I am a lifelong Minnesota Vikings fan. I became one in the year of their inception when I was 10 years old, 1961.
That's hockey or
just no, that's football actually.
Okay.
and it just so happens that we lost our quarterback, then we lost another quarterback, and we made a trade with the Arizona Cardinals to get another quarterback. So we get this guy named Joshua Dobbs. And Joshua Dobbs, who played at University of Tennessee, he has a degree in aerospace engineering. He is a fucking aerospace engineer. He arrives at the Minnesota training facility on Tuesday, which is essentially the workday starts for him on Wednesday.
Right.
The guy that he is supposed to be backing up gets hurt in the first quarter. So he has to come in and assimilate a playbook of some sort and do this whole thing. And the guy's like a friggin' genius. Right. And he makes it look like it's really easy, And it made me think that, there's so much emphasis put on, the physical attributes of people. Does he have a strong enough arm to throw the deep out pattern? Can he do this? Can he do that? But this guy's so brilliant that he can win 2 games in a row for us so far, and maybe he wins one this week. Who knows? But it's like this guy's like freaking brilliant. It's very hard being a quarterback. If you sit there and you look at what's going on, it's like, oh my God, how do they process this stuff?
And this guy just does it with like high horsepower IQ, right?
He is hitting like all the little boxes because he's got physical skills, but the coach, my coach who I love, but my coach is like. He made this play where he scored this touchdown, and they had a split screen of this thing, and you kind of do, guy. And you're looking at him doing the take as he runs it in for a touchdown, and he's just like, "What the hell?" It's just like, I don't have anything to say. I don't know what that was, but it was just, But I thought the aerospace engineering would make this.
I know you were saying I'm a genius and I make it look easy. I know you were implying that. I appreciate that, Bill Noman.
I think that's a great takeaway from that. It was purely unintentional, but I think that's a great takeaway from that.
Yeah.
Far be it from me.
I can fly a 747 and I can run this show.
Right. My friend Alex Braz, the drummer, said to me from Poland, said to me today, he's like, not to me, he posted on Facebook, he said, if the universe is expanding, makes you think, if the universe is expanding, where is the center of the universe? I said, right here, baby.
In my house with my cat.
My mom told me so. Yeah.
I think that if the universe is expanding, the center doesn't change. The universe is just expanding.
Where is it? Oh my God. All right, play another song for us, Bill Noman.
Guess I got what I deserve. Kept you waiting there too long, my love. All that time without a word. Did you really think that I'd forget? I'd regret the special love I had for you, my baby blue. All the days became so long. Did you really think I'd do you wrong? Dixie, when I let you go, thought you'd realize that I would know, I would show the special love I have for you, my baby blue. What can I do? What can I say? Except I want you by my side. How can I show you the way? Don't you know the times I've tried? Guess that's all I have to say. Except the feeling just grows stronger every day. Just one thing before I go. Take good care, baby. Let me know. Let it go. The special love I had for you, my baby dear.
Yeah, baby. That's right.
Very nice, very nice.
I love Badfinger.
Yeah, gotta love Badfinger.
You can tell. It's easy to tell.
Badfinger had that. Their first hit was a song that McCartney wrote, and it was one of these things, kind of like the first time you heard the first Bee Gees hit, which was like the 1910 mining disaster. It was kind of like, is this a Beatles offshoot? Is this them just trying to like the Four Seasons put out a song called "The Guess Who"? Well, you didn't have to guess much because nobody sounds like Frankie Valli.
Right.
Like I think that's Frankie Valli. But yeah, you're right. But it was like "Come and Get It," which was the song that McCartney wrote, and there's actually a Beatles demo of it on the anthology albums. But it's like it's so Beatley, and that band was so great. Their albums. That song was produced by Todd Rundgren. Harrison was supposed to produce it, and Rundgren got brought in, and it was one of those things. And tragedy in the band. At least one guy for sure committed suicide, but maybe more than one guy committed suicide. Wow. And there's only one guy still alive from the original things. It's tragic. They played at Bangladesh. They played at the big concert at Madison Square Garden, and I always love stage patter from Brits, and like George is introducing the band. He goes, I don't know if you could hear them from here, but there's an Apple band in the back playing acoustic guitars, Badfinger. Like one of those things.
So speaking of 1910 mining disasters.
Ouch.
Hey,
ouch. Ouch.
Hey, Randy.
Hey, he's giving me the shaft. Hey.
Randy was the canary they sent down into the coal
That's right.
mine to see if the air was good.
I love Badfinger. I got in just halfway through that song. That was great, Bill.
Yeah.
I fucking love those guys.
By the end, you got at the good part. By the end, I remembered how it went. So.
Oh, the prettiest melodies. Their melodies were so fucking pretty.
Yeah, that song "Day After Day" is that the one?
Oh, Day After Day, exactly. And that Harrison-esque. Was it? By the way, is that Harrison on the slide? Because Harrison's always doing slide on these songs.
Yes.
Yeah.
On that one, it is Day After Day. It definitely is. And the guy from Badfinger plays a wicked good solo on Baby Blue. I mean, it's a really good solo. And the drummers fill. There's a dropout and after the guitar solo, that fill, check it out, Dave, because that fill is like crazy good. It's like as great as like a Motown fill. It's like that.
Hold up, man. That means I got to hit it tomorrow then.
Yeah, right.
Got to go on it, bro.
Cover it.
My brother, you got to go Badfinger. That's right.
Badfinger.
I love that Castle Made of Sand, man. That was good.
Yeah.
Andy, I love him. Yeah.
Very cool. So what's going on, Randy? So what's happening?
What is happening? Some gigging, and it's getting cold and dark earlier. I had to go in for a routine maintenance in New York. Made it out alive.
That's good.
And here I am, sipping wine and
There you go.
talking to the boys. How is everybody?
You didn't have a procedure, right? You were just going in for a checkup or something?
Procedure? It was experimentation. No, I didn't. I had an MRI.
Dr. Mingala will see you now.
That's
Randy.
right. Not here. We used to take our pets, our dog, to this Shulov Animal Hospital in Westport when we go on vacation. The dog never came back the same. Like, kind of came back like.
Right.
So I renamed it the Shulov Animal Hospital and Center for Experimentation. They just drug the shit. No, I'm fine. I had an MRI to keep track of something, and it's all good.
You ever see that movie, Conspiracy Theory, with Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts? Conspiracy Theory.
What?
I've only seen parts of it. I've never.
Oh
seen
my
the
God, it's a great movie. You got to watch Conspiracy.
Oh, the movie Conspiracy Theory.
Yeah. Like that?
Julia Roberts and Mel Gibson, and he plays this whacked out former CIA like hitman that turned like nuts.
Yeah.
Right. It was like Jason Bourne without being cool like Jason Bourne. And he's in the hotel. He's in the hospital room that you go to. Like, he looks out the window and he sees the 3 smokestacks over.
Oh yeah.
Right, and that's how he knows. Like, he has acid flashbacks.
Well,
He's
actually,
like, the smokestacks. That's where I went.
Interestingly, one of the places I go to, it's on the 24th floor, and there's a window that is like it's like it's like an 8x10 photograph, but it has 4 panes in it. And it's filthy, and it has no business being in. And it looks out over that would be the East River. It looks out over the East River. And I always take a picture of it because I can't believe this window should not be here, and I can't believe they didn't just sheetrock over the motherfucker, and just get rid of it.
Or clean it and make it look good.
That's the window.
I posted it, and Eric Raboska said that'd be a good album cover.
Yeah,
oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
That is the window where when the plane is going up the river and it makes the turn, but it can't make the turn, and it's going right through that window.
Well, and I also found out I posted something, a very sleek, modern lobby in the building across the street, and it turns out one of the people who works there told me they used it in the series Succession. Like, it's so stylish, they used it in a couple of scenes when somebody had to go to the hospital. They used that in Succession. So, of course, that's part of the Weill Cornell. And Sandy Weill was not a poor man. And God bless him, because he did a lot of good with that obscene wealth that he made.
Right.
Well,
speaking of obscene wealth.
Hey.
Nick Carter. How you doing?
Speaking of
Nick Carter.
Speaking of obscene, that's the better word.
There you go. How's it going, Nick Carter?
I'm fine. I hope I'm in time to catch some of Bill's music.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Such as it is.
Good to see you
held him
guys.
back.
How's everybody?
You're doing good. Doing
Good, man.
good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. You've been traipsing all over the countryside.
Yeah,
Nice to see you.
grandsons in Baltimore and going to baby showers in Los Angeles.
There you go.
Wow.
Have you been playing?
Cool.
Sorry?
Have you been playing?
Yeah. Been playing and practicing, and actually got a gig coming up on Tuesday. It's online, called Music My Mother Would Not Like. It's a great Bruce Swan and his partner Louise Baker host it, and they've been at it for 2 or 3, 4 years now since COVID started.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And even with COVID more or less behind us now, they still do it, and I've been invited back. So
Kind of like us.
right, exactly. Yeah, right, exactly.
Did anybody see the post that Rory Gordon did of the open mic that he did up near Great Barrington?
No.
He did this open mic, and the venue is like fucking gorgeous. It's like
Really?
wood paneled. It's like the Bearsville Theater or something. And it's like an open mic. Well, I'm just saying, Ed, if you ever get it going again, can we upgrade? I mean, I'm just saying that,
Yeah, God, check it out. Do you know the name of the venue?
If you go online and look up, hit Rory Gordon.
I'm going to go do that. I saw his post coming down from Great Barrington where he went to the Accordion Museum of America or whatever.
How about that?
That I saw.
Museum.
Like those accordions, by your standards, are they not awesome? Like,
yeah, they're awesome. Accordions
like
are
to
all
me,
awesome.
they're just like unbelievably
particularly
cool looking.
Those are particular. I'll go get to the bottom of the Rory Gordon story, and you play another song, Bill Loman. Would you please?
Okay, because I thought today was something to do with bass players. I thought it was like appreciate bass, and I do appreciate bass players.
Randy, what do you know?
I
There's a bass player day, but I thought it was in October, and I wanted to post a meme, and I don't know how to make memes, which is, it's National Bass Players Day. Ignore a bass player.
I thought it was like, for some reason I had in my head that it was like this week, and I'm
pretty sure it's in October. I'm pretty sure. I think it's in October.
In honor of Bass Player Day, Bill Loman will do another.
Go, Billy.
Well, not on Bass Player Day. I'm just playing a Paul McCartney song, which it's a stretch.
There you go.
Me playing it is a stretch as well. So there you go. I look high, I look low, I look everywhere I go, looking for a home in the heart of the country. I'm gonna move, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna tell everyone I know, looking for a home in the heart of the country. Heart of the country where the people go, heart of the country, smell the grass and the meadow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I want a horse, I want a sheep, I want to get me a good night's sleep. Looking for a home in the heart of the country. I want to go, I want to go, I want to tell everyone I know. A home in the heart of the country. Heart of the country where the holy people grow. Heart of the country, smell the grass in the meadow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. One horse, one sheep, I want to get me a good night's sleep. Looking for a home in the heart of the country. I want to move, I want to go, I want to tell everyone I know. For a home in the heart of the country. Heart of the country where the holy people grow. Heart of the country, smell the grass in the meadow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. feedback from the throne.
Nice ending. Very nice.
God damn,
Yeah, that
Billy.
was pretty nice.
God damn. There's a lot to that. That was good.
Nice work.
Yeah,
I
that's
like
cool.
the scatting along with the guitar part. That was cool.
Shit.
That's Macca.
So Rory Gordon played at the Barn in Egremont. In Egremont.
Right.
Egremont.
Egremont.
I've been to Great Barrington. It's just a couple miles from Great Barrington.
I think I've heard of the Barn.
Fancy.
Did you look at it though? Did you look at the pictures?
Yeah, fancy.
I mean, isn't it like legit?
Yeah.
Like you look at the people, they're like dining. They're not eating. They're dining.
In a giant room with like a gambrel roof and wood paneling and stone.
Like a balcony
so nice. And we got a real open mic. That's really cool.
Good. I'm going. It's a bit of a drive, but yeah, maybe.
It's a road job up there with you.
It is a bit of a drive for an open mic. I'll say that.
Did Rory just go up for the open mic? Is that was his thing?
I think he was in Great Barrington, and I think he hit it on the way back. I think that was the part before he hit the accordions or after they hit the. Those accordions
I did a lot of that.
Insane.
The Accordion Museum. I have to go. How have I not been to the Accordion?
Have you never
Museum?
been there?
I have never been there. No, I've got to go there. It's near Kent somewhere, right? Where is it?
Well, it's up there near Great Barrington. It's up there in Massachusetts, okay. I think. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I
was always, sad that I never got to go to the Liberace Museum before they closed it in Vegas. I wish I had gone to that, but I did have a friend go and get me a bobblehead doll, which was great.
So many lines, so little time.
Exactly right.
Lee, as we call him, Lee.
I just haven't found the right girl.
Great Barrington, yeah.
Oh, it's good to be back.
I remember when my dad found out.
Chris, dragging it down in the gutter. I'm dragging it down the gutter again.
That's all right. First thing I hear when I tune in is Randy going, "Motherfucker," talking about your wall. I love it.
He's the Samuel L. Jackson of our Pulp Fiction.
That's right. There
you go.
Yeah.
That's all right. Some people.
Oh my God! There it is, the bobblehead doll of Liberace and Willie Mays, or who is that? Who's the other one?
It's Roberto Clemente, please. What the hell?
Some people swear, and it's poetic. And Randy, you are one who makes profanity poetic.
Thank you, Chris.
The famous quote from my father when he found out, there was a period of time that we all on the screen remember, and that is when, there was a moment when we discovered that some people in Hollywood were gay, but we didn't know it, right?
Right.
And so everybody's like, oh my God, did you hear? Like Rock Hudson. We're like, what? Hudson?
Right.
And my father, when he heard that Liberace was gay, he said, how could he be gay? All the ladies love him. That's the famous.
And therein lies the cosmic truth, my friend.
There it is.
Back to I just haven't found the right girl. It just, that worked. There was no TMZ back then,
Right.
That's right. Yeah, there was no one to expose.
Well, I mean, how he passed the eye test for all. I mean, that's unbelievable. But and along with Little Richard, and there's the flamboyant aspect of the whole thing.
Yes.
It screams it so loud that maybe you just thought that was just nothing, But
like showbiz.
My brother-in-law does a great impression of Liberace, that he took from one of his Vegas shows, and he comes out with this floor-length ermine coat, that has a trail to it, of 12 feet behind him, and he's like, "Do you like my coat? You ought to. You bought it." I just love that.
This is a true story, right? My father says to me, he says, when you come, so my father lived in England, American, a New Yorker, and he lived in England, and then he retired in South Africa, right? Wow. Because the reason was he didn't want to retire somewhere in the state, or not retire. He had his winter place, he snowbirded, right? Yep. But if you snowbird from England to Palm Springs or right, then you jet lagged for 2 weeks on either end of your trip, right? So he's South Africa, no time difference. So it's a long flight, but no time difference. So he said, you got to come down. I'm like, it's door to door from here, Fairfield County, to the airport to Senegal to South Africa to Cape Town and to Johannesburg, and then you got to get a 5-hour flight to Cape Town. It's like 33 hours door to door.
Wow,
it's I've long.
Done it. I went to I had to go to Joburg, and I went to Sun City. I had to speak at a conference in Sun City. So I will play Sun City. We went through Senegal, the whole fucking route. Yep.
It's so freaking far, right? And so, but my father said, look, you come all this way. I'm going to take you to a concert. We have this amphitheater in Cape Town, in Zevenwacht, which is the wine country. It's like Napa Valley. It's beautiful out there. And he's like, there's this beautiful amphitheater. So I look on the calendar of the amphitheater, and Ray Charles, I'm pretty sure it was Ray Charles was playing there, right? And I'm like, okay, we're going to go see Ray Charles. He's like, you're going to love the show. I am not going to tell you who's playing, and I didn't want to ruin it for him. I'm like, he's taking me to freaking Ray Charles. I can't wait. It's going to be so good. I get down there, and he goes, and I go, so it's Ray Charles, right? And he goes, no. It's the best South African Liberace impersonator. And I was like, what? I flew 33 hours to go see him.
That's harsh.
Dad.
Yeah, that's harsh.
Bad.
Good? Was he good?
That's substantially different than Ray Charles.
I just heard David's. Yeah, I heard David's question. Was he good?
Was he good?
He was a good Liberace impersonator.
It comes down to the question of is Liberace good, and we just don't want to go there.
I don't know. Like,
Liberace is good. Liberace can
Liberace.
play.
I thought Liberace was kick ass.
He could play.
He could summon up any of the classics,
right,
on demand.
Right. And this guy could do it. Yeah.
If you were dating Lee, as I like to call him, if you were dating Lee, I'm sure it was a whole different take on it. But when that man passed away, I didn't hear one bad thing from anyone about him.
Oh, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like zero. Like
Liberace.
How can you not love Liberace?
Am I the only one who's so depraved that I watched that? I guess it was HBO, the Liberace story, and it was Michael Douglas playing Liberace.
I remember that.
Yes, and it was Matt Damon playing his main squeeze, as it were.
Yeah.
That is correct.
That's right.
Did you enjoy it, Randy?
I actually did, but it was bad in a campy way, Dave. It was like, this is really kind of shitty, like comic booky, but I watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
but it's the kind of thing where there's no way to play it like down low. It is what it is. This is the way the man lived. This is his life, and I thought it was
had to do the dying Liberace.
Michael Douglas won a lot of awards for that thing.
Absolutely. And Matt Damon later, like 10 years later, this is a pretty old movie now. The years later, he got accused by the woke crowd of being homophobic.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, he slept with Liberace. Yeah. I saw it with my own eyes.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Pretty wild. All right. So, Will Baird, you got one for us?
Sure, why not? We'll see whether you guys can hear it or not.
Thanks, Ed. You set him up right after we talk about this, right? Look, Will, go, now what am I going to do?
Yeah, that's right.
No pressure, Will.
No pressure, yeah.
No pressure.
I'm up to it. I can do it, damn it. I'm just like that football player, aerospace engineer, genius motherfucker guy.
There you go.
Yeah, just like him. I'm just not loud enough. Can you hear that okay?
it's pretty kick-ass.
Thank you.
Will?
So is that standard tuning or no?
It is standard tuning, except it does have flat strings, not round.
Flat wound strings.
Yeah, flat wound strings. Yeah. Dave,
Oh,
were you
so it's
gonna
a
say
surf
something?
song. That's right. Yeah.
Man, that stereo effect, it's like, here it is, and then wow, and then wow, and then wow.
Yeah, it's great when I'm playing in like public spaces, like at farmers markets. It's people will all be like walking by, ignoring me, and that suddenly kicks in, and everyone's like, and it stops, and then that's when I make the money. Is it right when the bass part kicks in?
So Ed, do you hear a pan there? You hear like something that?
Yeah, you must be listening to it in mono.
I'm listening to it.
In
as a
stereo,
mono.
in headphones, it's like, whoa, it's all over the place. Yeah,
there's something about when I was listening in, it's very weird when you're hearing yourself, you don't hear it in stereo, but when you're hearing someone else, or if you're hearing yourself recorded, which I always do beforehand because I'm a neurotic, just to see like what do I sound like. It sounds really cool on the user end, like on the listener end. It's like, wow.
It does. It does.
A lot of
stuff. You gotta upgrade your gear to stereo, build all of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do I?
Yeah, exactly. That's the move.
I do remember, like, there were certain albums that stereo really, obviously there were Hendrix albums like Axis Bold as Love that had a lot of like, Castles Made of Sand had a lot of that crazy panning. One of my favorites was, I guess it was Good Morning by the Beatles, where literally you could hear like, the farm animals run from one ear to the other, and then there was stuff like that. That in Firestein Theater, which the stereo on that was like amazing.
First pan I ever heard on a pair of headphones. I was in high school, and I was listening to Paul McCartney's album Ram. Remember that old album, Ram?
Oh yeah.
And I forget what the song was, but there was a pan, and I think it was a Thunderstorm mock-up of one of the songs.
It's got to be Admiral Halsey.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Randy, and it was like,
yeah.
And I remember going back, dropping the needle about 100 times, going, I want to hear that again.
I want to hear that again.
Well, let's go back the other way now. I mean, God damn, it was fascinating. Yeah,
it's kind of fun. I mean, do you think now, Ed? You have your finger on the pulse of some younger people. There was a period of time where like headphones were a big deal because I was listening on vinyl, and and it was all about the music, and you would sit there and you would just like every nuance of the production process was like super important to you. Do you think that's still the same, or do you think it's just the
Apple
net takeaway is just like, hey, I can dance to this,
They all have AirPods now, they're all listening to little speakers hanging out of their earballs, For a number of years now, we've had like, the little Bose speaker. It sounds good, but it's not really stereo. It's not like a hi-fi system. We all had like speakers and tuners and amps and, and that went away pretty much. And everybody used like a little sound brick. And now that, they're back on headphones again.
Interesting.
But I mean, I don't know if they smoke enough pot to really care about the nuances of production, but I know when I was listening to it, that was a big part of it. It was like, you're fucking high as a kite, and you're listening to like freaking John Bonham's Foot. You're just like, fucking hey,
Yeah.
And I don't know whether they're being listened to that way. I don't know if it's the same on Molly's as it is on marijuana.
Exactly.
Really
well, people don't, I don't think, sit and listen to an album anymore. Even if whoever it is Drake comes out with an album, whatever that means, you download it and you listen to a little bit and then you switch it off. We've all got ADHD now, and we're like, how can you spend 20 minutes aside listening to a record? Like that's too much.
Songs are the currency now. It's not. It's
has
not
to be mixed. Yeah.
There's a guy who has a great email blast kind of thing. A guy named Bob Lefsetz, who actually grew up in Fairfield, and he had an interesting piece today. And Dave, if you don't get with this guy, you might like him because there's a lot of LA stuff in there because he lives in LA now. He started in Fairfield, but anyway, Bob Lefsetz, Lefsetz.
Yeah.
But he was talking today about the movie for the band that's called The Immediate Family, and they're the session cats who were behind James Taylor, behind Carole King. It's like Russ Kunkel, Waddy Wachtel, Danny Kortchmar, Leland Sklar. Speaking of great bass players, there's like all these guys, and it just made me. It reminded me so much that so much of my purchasing incentives came out of reading liner notes, reading album covers.
Yes.
It was basically you were trolling, in today's terminology, musicians. Like, if Leon Russell was playing here, that's going to be fucking good. If it's like the Russ Kunkel Lee Sklar thing, I know it's going to be kind of like that. I'm going to go there, and I just, again, like, I'm always curious as to, are there still people, who aren't our age, and by our, I'm doing a disservice to all of you, but who aren't 45. Like my age, who still give a rat's ass about who plays on the fucking thing, and more than what I've heard on Top 40 radio, I'm purchasing. Well, there's no record stores anymore, so this is all bullshit. I would make my purchases based on who's playing on it. Leon Russell's playing on it. I know it's going to be fucking great. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be great. It's like. Yeah. And it's like that.
I'll tell you this much. My student Nasir, who's now graduated, and we still work together and do stuff. He has a great taste in music and listens to all kinds of stuff, like across. You think, oh, they're listening to Top 40. He doesn't listen to Top 40 at all. Like, he listens to all kinds of genres, from like anime music from Japan to like heavy metal, like modern heavy metal. He was playing me some like death metal the other day, but when he talks about it, the point I was trying to make is, when he talks about it like Bill Nolan talks about it. He's like, oh, and then this guy, and it's interesting because he did this record, and then he get this release, but then he expanded. He obviously started working with a different studio, and like he talks about.
Wow, he's become a crushing bore so young.
So you've never heard of
not a lot of time with the ladies, huh? Yeah.
You've never heard of the genres that he listens to, but he knows them, like he loves them, and he reads the liner notes, whatever they are.
But
today.
I love that approach. Like it's irrelevant, really. Like to want people to like the music that you like is bullshit, but to me, I'm just curious if in a world that's really sort of overdriven by production, and production in today's world is really an anonymous thing. It's like, the name of the producer, but nobody underneath him. Like, you don't know anybody underneath. You don't know who the drummer is. You don't know who, it isn't like you're playing in Muscle Shoals or you're playing in Detroit.
It's a whole different thing. And what's particularly interesting about it, like, there's a bunch of people, I don't absorb it. I take notes so I can check it out later, but he says, like, oh, this guy, he wears a mask when he performs or whatever, and or you only see him as an animated character.
Is it Skrillex?
No. It's something.
Buckethead?
It's very obscure. And nothing that we would have heard of.
Nothing that we could know about it. That's what you're saying?
Right. And he shows me, well, they don't push it to us, And he showed me, like, he's like, you see these 6 things. Like, there's this one series of like monsters that do music, whatever. He's like, that's the same guy working with this guy. And now over here, he's got another group and he works with this girl, but that's the same people. And because they can put the personas out there through different channels, and they don't even say it's them.
Yeah,
wow.
It's really.
Go, Billy.
No, you go, Randy.
Back to 2 things you were talking about. One, my favorite panning album to listen to when I was high was "A Wizard of True Star" by Rundgren. That one has so much shit going on in the production. Little tiny instruments, you don't even know what the fuck they are. That included that.
And dense, because he crammed like over an hour of music into vinyl in those days, and it was difficult to do. Yeah. So that the tracks were like,
And I actually saw the Immediate Family at the Wall Street Theater. I guess it was a couple of years ago, and I was right in front of Waddy, and there's something about his style, and as they say, only the number of notes necessary. Like very thoughtful in what he was doing, but still kicking ass. I was, and I got to at least shake hands with Lee Sklar. which was good.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool. Did you
Lisa
enjoy, did you enjoy Danny playing?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, he's in. I mean, the funny thing with Lee Sklar, like for years and years, Kunkel and Sklar, I would associate them with James Taylor because they were out with him live for a long, long time. And then crazily, like James finds a replacement for Leland, who's just like Leland. He's a guy named Jimmy Johnson, and now I think he's still working on his beard, but plays like him, looks like him, is like him, and it's great. It's like on and on it goes.
Yeah, he's definitely got like the ZZ Top beard long before ZZ Top existed.
That is true. Yeah. As a matter of fact, you can see, I think there's an old, I think it's Carole King on YouTube. Like really old, like 71, 70, something like that. And he's got a brown beard. And he's still going bald.
Well, when he, when it was James Taylor who really convinced Carol that she should step out because she was in his band. Actually, She should step out and do it, and then they would share the musicians. So when she would open for James, she had the same freaking cats who played on Tapestry, and the rest is, as we say, musical history.
No shit.
And just think of how easy the logistics are. You don't have to set up two bands. That's great.
Actually, the funniest thing I ever saw of that was I went to see Parliament at with George Clinton at Toad's Place in New Haven, and the opening act was this young band, and they were the funkiest, like amazing funky band, and they were his road crew. So they drove the truck, and they loaded the gear, and the sound engineer, whatever it was, and so they all get up and they get to play, and then Parliament goes on after them. And then they join Parliament and do some numbers, and then they got to break the show down.
That's very funny.
Well, Parliament was, when they started out, when I first heard them, they had a single called "I Just Want to Testify," and it was, it was kind of a straight up R&B soul single, and they played at Ekman Center, Dave, in Old Greenwich. They were one of the bands that just, we had a bunch of bands that play. The Rascals would play there, the Wild Weeds, Question Mark and the Mysterians, Wilson Pickett, a lot of good bands played there. And they played there, and they were more like, sort of suit kind of bands, but George wore like a blonde wig. And I was always just like, that's unusual, because the song itself was kind of like, the changes were kind of like, hold on, I'm coming, kind of like, I just want to testify what your love has done for me. It's like that kind of thing,
Right.
And it was like, but George Clinton played at Ekman Center, man, like in 1967.
Wow, that's wild.
Crazy.
That is wild.
But they were like a regular band. Look up the song. I Just Want to Testify. Very cool, radio friendly. Single
by Parliament. They were early Parliament.
Yeah,
that's very funny. All right, Will Bear, do one more for us, would you?
Okay, I think it's
preferably something by Parliament or Funkadelic, one of the.
Oh my God!
I specialize in those. I got a bunch of those tunes for you.
The mothership is coming down. The mothership is coming down.
Will, if you do it, you got to put a diaper on. You got to come out with a diaper, brother.
All right, can I start now? Are you guys over? Are you done?
You better.
Hey, get with them into shape. I mean, really. Why do I do this?
That's right. Bring in
Hell
that
yeah.
woods, man.
Hell yeah.
Kind of bring in that Parliament feel to it. I can tell.
Hey, Bill, I have a question. I like the arrangement behind your solo work. Do you do the tracks? Do you set them all up?
Yeah. I do them all in Logic Pro and either record them if it's acoustic or play on the keyboard.
Logic Pro as opposed to Pro Tools or other things like that. You like Logic Pro?
Yeah, it's just sort of how it evolved. I started out with GarageBand, like a lot of people, and then kind of went. Everyone said, "Oh, this is much better," and so I moved up, and then like spent the rest of my life trying to figure the fucking thing out. But it's great software.
Yeah, they're all great. All of the DAWs
really
now
are.
are so good. It's just what you're used to. I remember when Pro Tools was king. Pro Tools was like, first of all, Pro Tools was $150,000 when it first came out. It was like the first really pro
studios.
like it's kind of a studio with a computer, and then it became $200 and everybody had one, or $500 or $800, and Apple of course took over the world with Logic, like they did with Final Cut. And at the end of the day, it's a hammer. What brand hammer you have, whatever's more comfortable in your hand, it's okay. It's all the same.
I still find it's like, I don't know if there's some movie, I think it's Men in Black, where someone like goes up and like dares a monster to like I'm going to fucking kill you, whatever. And the thing opens up and roars, and like 500 worms all come out and like wave at the guy. And he's like, whoa, and every single feature in Logic Pro, that's what it's like. Okay. So you go, I want reverb. And so you go in the reverb door and you open it, and I'll count like 500 different variables of reverb. And I don't know what any of them are, So,
right. So you find the ones you like that work for you, and you stick with that,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like the only way to survive.
I'm kind of snake bit with Pro Tools. I used to use Pro Tools a lot.
Me too.
And a couple of years ago, I did a lot of remixing to set up a file for a recording session I was going to take to another location. And I'd saved the file many times, and it still crashed, and I lost it. And I just and I thought, you know what? I've spent several hours doing this, and yes, I could do it, but I decided, you know what? When I really need an engineer, I'll get somebody to help me, and I'll just stick with trying to write the songs or do
right
and sing and play rather than fuck around with being an engineer.
Well, that's the trick. The trick is, if you're going into software and recording and all this stuff because you want to write music and record your performance, then you don't want to be the engineer. You want to be the guy that goes, roll tape and I'll play. And otherwise you lose it. Otherwise you get angry on take 9. You're like, software.
Learn new words.
Right. And so
short 4-letter ones,
And now what they're doing, I don't know if you're aware of this, but what they're doing now, and the direction it's going to really take off next year, it's already started, where all these software packages, Logic, Ableton, Fruity, FL Studio, and all these, Pro Tools, I don't know if that's still around, they have like generative AI in there now. So you could say, I want a track that does this, or I want this instrument playing this.
Really?
It'll write the melodies for you. It'll play the chords. Wow. It'll listen to your other tracks and play these stuff. And so that's the end. If people start using that,
I was at a folk conference in North Carolina in the springtime, and AI came into the conversation because they were talking about entering different songwriter competitions. And the judges of some of the competitions said, we don't have a problem if you want to use AI. And a lot of the songwriters who were there, some who have had nice long careers, said, I will never do AI, never do AI. So I don't know where it's all going to come out, but I am sure that AI is going to be around for a long time to come.
Yeah, it's all really kind of scary. Yes, and we all will be using it one way or another. It'll all
right. And all the people we just talked about who are the heroes in studios in the 60s and 70s all got mad, rightfully, when the synthesizer came out and could duplicate every bass, drum,
right.
you can't stop the progress, I guess.
But then the 80s went away.
You're right.
And like
You're right.
then Guns N' Roses came along, and like nobody wanted a synthesizer player anymore.
Things evolved, so it didn't ruin it, but it's like trying to stop the tide from coming in. It's gonna happen.
You can't.
Yeah, I guess you have to just adapt. But I'm reaching a point where I don't want to adapt to anything anymore.
Yeah.
Well, this one really shocked me a little bit. There was an international photography contest, a very prestigious international photography contest, high art photography, and they had a winner last year, and the winner was AI generated. It was not shot with a camera, and it became the winner of the internet, judged by the best photographers in the world. And they're like, "Oops, sorry,"
Yeah, we didn't realize.
It's not quite as bad as like Miss Netherlands for the world is like trans. It's not that. It's like it produced a picture that is really, really good.
That's a bit of an exaggerated claim, isn't it? Yeah.
My wife Sue teaches during the springtime at Yale, and so during this past year, she had a big moment of AI conversations with her students, and the proviso was, if you use it, put it in your footnotes and let me know how you use it. She's gone in and used AI on a lot of different subjects regarding the stuff that she teaches. And she said that she's gone in and asked different questions about different kinds of investment strategies. And goddamn, if this stuff doesn't come up with interesting answers. And she has said, and she's been in the business a long time. She said, and they're not bad answers.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I've heard friends who write songs who've tried to do AI, write a song in AI, and they said it's not bad. Maybe not what they would do.
Maybe you don't do the song. Maybe, I mean, how many times, Nick Carter, I'm not a lyricist, but how many times have you been, pining over some lyrics and you get it there and you're like, just need a good 2 lines to finish that thought.
Right.
And I can't do it. You could go to ChatGPT and you could feed your lyrics in and say, give me 100 examples, and it'll give you 100. One of them, you're like, oh shit, that's the one. That's it.
I know, but I ain't done that yet.
Right.
And I've got, and just off camera view here are piles of pads, yellow pads, because I wrote. And I will tell you this. It's a slow, painful, solitary process writing a song. We all know this. But I have to tell you something. When I find that right word, and I found it myself, it's like, yes, because you know what? It's mine now. I mean, it's I dug it up. My shovel did it.
Right.
And, and maybe someone might look at it and think it's this, but not in my book. So it's a hard call. It's a hard call.
You look at great songwriters throughout history. They have labored on a line. They have labored on a bridge. They have labored on for quite some time, and then they come up with freaking yesterday.
Leonard Cohen was famous for torturing himself for a year on lyrics.
Yeah, that's a process. The whole thing just bums me out, frankly.
There's a legend about Jackson Browne when Jackson Browne and Glenn Frey shared a house. Right. I don't know. This may be true, but it's a great story to tell. And ultimately, Glenn Frey moved out of that house. And the reason he moved out of the house is because this is now melodic stuff, not so much lyric crafting.
Right.
Jackson Browne, I don't know what the song was that he was working, but he worked the melody over and over.
Yeah.
And
all day from 9 to 5.
Well, but just days on end.
Yeah,
and Glenn Frey was like, "Shut the fuck up, Jackson."
And finally, he finally said, you're driving me out of my fucking mind. I can't work because you're just doing this thing on the piano all the time. So pining and mining for the right thing is, to me, it's worth doing it. It's
Jackson Browne's music is not complex. No. But it's heartfelt, it's personal, but it's not it's not like he's writing like nut job, melodies,
great point, Bill. But these days, or Barricades of Heaven, these are not complex, but they're beautiful.
Yeah. It's funny about my mom, who she passed away recently. She was a writer, and she was published in the New Yorker when she was 24 years old.
Wow.
It was something she had written when she was 24. And she was sort of starting in on the edge of dementia when I started chatting with her about writing, because at the time I was writing songs and singing and stuff. And I wanted to hear more about her thinking. And there is a point to this, I promise. I was asking her questions like, what makes you think of stories? And because everything she was writing was short stories. And what made you think of this story, which is called The Death of Pierce? What do you think makes a good story, and so on? And the last question I asked her, my mom and I did not get along. I was there out of duty, not for maybe the reasons that a good son would be, but we did not get along, and I didn't think we shared much in common. But the last question I asked her was, what about the songs, what about the songs that have the most feeling in them, like the most authentic and genuine? Where do those come from? And she said, well, they just, and I finished the sentence with her simultaneously, they just write themselves.
That's right.
I was like, I got mom gave me that gift of writing, And
there's an old Mary Gaucher adage. It goes like, a friend of hers once said, "I just held the pen."
Mm. Yeah.
And something pushed it along.
Yeah.
Right.
So, suddenly I realized my mom and I had something in common that I had never appreciated that she gave me.
That's a nice story, Will.
Poignant.
Poignant.
A good mom. Not such a good son, but a good mom.
Nah, you're a good son. You
I can relate to everything you just said, man.
Same here.
The creative part of it.
It's true. Nick Carter, you going to play a song for us?
Sure. So there's one that I've been working on, and it's and there's some lines in here that, they were born not out of Chat GPT. I'll just give you that much. So. In the station, all alone, she sings us to work, sings us home. They're dropping quarters at her feet, drop $1 and she smiles gratefully. Lonely child singing on and on, wishing the world could just get along. Same old denim clothes every day, auburn curls beneath a blue beret. To the world rushing by, underneath the streets and a cold neon sky. Lonely child is singing on and on, just wishing the world could just get along. Lonely child singing on and on, wishing the world could just get along. Listen for a minute, you can almost hear her heart. Feel the pulse and now you're in it. That's always how it starts. Imagining is not hard to do. She says all you need is love. You got somewhere you need to go, but now you know one song's not enough. She's a stranger, she's familiar, so gather round. She's a campfire for the lost and found. Getting warm is what you stopped here for. Before your train, stop a minute more. For the lonely child singing on and on, just wishing the world could just get along. Lonely child singing on and on, wishing the world could just get along. Lonely child singing on and on, just wishing the world could just get along.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate that. But so Campfire for the Lost and Found is a line that you may or may not like it, but for me it was like, yes, it works. So it's like that's an example of just digging and digging for what it's worth.
Yeah, that's great. So how long do you take? Like, so when you're writing, give me the shortest song you ever wrote, and like the quickest and the longest one you ever did. Like,
yeah, you'll be sorry you asked. This is the shortest one I ever wrote. Wrote it in like the late 1990s. I was still with a band called Hat Band, and it was when we just don't know how much is enough, only just to try. It's a long road together, you and I. Your quiet resolution takes me by surprise. Then again, I might have known by the fire in your eyes. Just tell me where you're going, and I'll try to stay close by. It's a long road together, you and I. We all want to be those things our dreams may see. Some of us get further than the rest. But all I need is your love to lead the compass of my soul. When life's turns put me to the test. Almost done. So I want to be there with you. My love will catch your tears. I'll listen to your dreams. I'm gonna hold you till your tears retreat in my embrace and scatter on the wind. Ooh, of all my devotion and all that I got to give. It's a long road together, you and I. It's the firm ground beneath our feet when we don't see eye to eye. When we just don't know how much is enough, only just to try. It's a long road together, you and I. That song was written real fast back in 1997.
It's a great song.
Thank you, Bill.
so what do you mean fast? Tell me about fast.
Well, it fell together real fast. I was looking at an old newspaper, and I remember this. On one of the pages, there was a fundraiser, and basically it said, "We can do this together, no matter how long it takes," something like that.
Right.
And I just thought, wait a minute, long road, long thing, long road together, and so your quiet resolution takes me by surprise. And it's a little bit about, I thought about Sue, and, we've been together 40, actually longer than that now, 40 some years. And so there was a bunch of that in there. But Ed, to answer your question, long road together, you and I, firm ground beneath our feet when we don't see eye to eye, when we just don't know how much is enough, only just to try. That came out pretty fast. Try. And I just kind of like the idea of when you don't know how much is enough, only just to try, that kind of thing. And so that's where that came from. Meanwhile, the one you just heard was first drafted in some form, not quite like what you heard just now, in 2000, summer of 2018 or 19.
Oh, okay.
And then it sat, and it aged, not so much like a fine wine, but it did kind of sit there. And I came back to it about 2 months ago, and I said, let's see if I can do something with this to make it a little bit more interesting and to the ear. And with all that's going on in the world, wishing the world could just get along kind of felt like it made sense.
And so that one percolated for a long time. And
it did. It did. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it did. So.
You got one more for us?
Sure. I think you've heard this. If you haven't, great. If you have, I'm sorry.
Boy, you're really out of tune.
So with all the nutty shit going on in the world,
yes.
I guess I start this. I might try to do this Tuesday night. I'm not sure, but in any case, it's basically we all probably have been wronged by somebody in life, and forgiving is a very hard thing to do. But we probably all, and I'm not trying to be preachy, I've been through this myself. When I find a way to let go and forgive, the load gets lighter. And so anyway, I wake up in the dark, hear my anger toss and turn, and it strikes a spark, and the grudges start to burn. Talk behind my back, I can hear it still. Cuts like broken glass, it always will. And the rage feels sweet, but brings no relief. Buried in my chest hides my relief. Forgiveness, set forgiveness free. I heard it as a child, turn the other cheek, but there's never any mercy left over for the meek. Don't get mad, get even, they always say. Don't let them off the hook, make them pay. Crushed by the weight of vendetta, gotta find a way that's better. Forgiveness, set forgiveness free. Forgiveness, set forgiveness free. I done wrong and been unkind. I done wrong and been unkind. Need to find a little love left in the well. Broken as I am, I need a little for myself. Forgiveness, set forgiveness free. Forgiveness, set forgiveness free. Forgiveness, oh forgiveness, set forgiveness free. Forgiveness, forgiveness, set forgiveness free.
Nice, Nick.
Forgiveness.
Thank you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Thank you. Kind of dark, but
real.
Get it off our chest.
Yeah,
Not
it's
as dark as
authentic.
Randy's screen.
What's that, Bill?
Not as dark as Randy's screen.
Oh,
He's,
not as dark as Randy's screen. This is
somewhere
true.
in some
Ooh.
basement somewhere.
It's so scary. Yeah.
That wasn't me. My lips didn't move an inch, but Will was talking.
Anyway.
That was fantastic. Super
Yeah,
good.
it was very good.
All right, who's got anything else to report? Who's playing
Thank
where?
you.
Where are you playing, Randy?
Tomorrow night at Sales with Holly.
Oh,
actually.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, great.
and Warren McGuire and Ken Susi. Gig just popped up. I actually sent you a file. Look for it in your email.
I've seen it. I hope I can make that. I don't know what I'm doing, but I
I met Ed. Yeah. Oh, love to. Ed. Yeah, if you're free.
It's my neck of the woods.
Cool.
If you're around on Tuesday night and you are at home and it's easy to do, look up, go to the website Music My Mother Would Not Like, and there's a place where you can get a ticket for this thing. It is there is no charge. It's just a Zoom show, and so you just register to get a seat to watch the show. And suggested donations are entirely up to the person listening to the songs.
That's great.
There is no price. And I'm on with another very talented woman named Abigail Dowd, and it's it's singer-songwriter, 25 minutes per set, and we'll do two of them, each of us two
Nice.
each. So yeah,
That sounds great.
So
Cool.
I like your new studio look. Very refined.
yeah. So this is a test run to see how this goes off. Did the sound come through okay?
Sounds
Very
good.
great.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, if it sounded rattly, please tell me, because
Yeah, the guitar sounded terrific, especially in the first tune. Sounded really clean and crisp and clear.
Okay, well, that's encouraging then. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Super
So
good.
anyway, yeah.
David Robinson, what's happening in California? What's
I
going on?
love where you're sitting, David. There's a nice looking set of traps you got.
Oh, well, I'm glad. You know what, Nick? I'm glad you brought this up. I wasn't going to go there, and Ed, and you guys who know me, I do have an addiction. I have an addiction to drums.
We're older, yeah.
So I got a new drum set coming in
Another new one.
next week. I know, Bill. It's sick.
Ooh, new toy day.
Your wife could actually hear this if you're saying this.
I did not plan on it. I went into Guitar Center on Tuesday for
No
a
shit.
drum head. For a drum head with my wife. We were in there for my grandson, who's only a year and a couple of months, Nicholas. His name is Nicholas. We see this talking kind of a drum, this beautiful drum that he can hit and kind of slide around on the floor.
Right?
Nice.
Oh, that's great.
Then I look and I see the drum sets. I really don't want to look,
Oh yeah.
and I see the sonar.
Right. I did the same thing Ed did, right?
Yeah. I saw the kit and I said, ooh. And I started getting a little sweaty, tingly, possibly a little hard. Sorry, Will.
It could happen.
Go there, man. And
It could happen.
I picked it up, touched it, and my wife said, you like that? I said, well, yeah, this is a really nice set. She says, you want it? I said,
Wow.
yeah.
This is a trick question.
Right there in the
Yeah.
store, she said
He
that.
knows
Yeah.
me. He knows I don't want anything off the floor, guys. I want virgin. In the box, this set comes
And
from
your wife's down with that?
Sonars in Germany.
Wow.
So yeah, I should get it Monday. So that's what you'll be seeing, Nick. I'm sorry, bro, but I'm
Nice.
No, man, that's great.
one's going to go out, and then the sonar is going to come in.
Well, we got to look at the old crappy one tonight, right?
Yeah, I know. I know. It's sick. It's sick, guys.
Very cool.
Ain't it great?
Anyway,
That's exciting, and you'll be inspired by the new set. You'll
Exactly.
like, all this stuff.
Yeah. Totally.
Exactly.
Yeah, the tone. Yeah, man. I can't wait to
Exactly.
crack it.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Dave, what part of LA are you in?
I'm in the South Bay near the beach areas. I'm
Okay.
in what they call Gardena.
Okay.
Okay, which is not too far away from Redondo Beach, Hermosa Beach, right? Manhattan
I
Beach.
love Hermosa Beach.
all
Yeah,
that.
man.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
And you're
Very
pretty
nice.
far away from that part of the freeway. That's I think it's the 101. That's
Yeah. That's not well. Yeah, I'm a distance from that.
Okay.
And I don't drive the freeways, guys. It's crazy out here. It's a terrible
It's crazy in Connecticut now. I don't know how anybody lives in Connecticut now.
Yeah.
The traffic and the mobs of people, like it's crazy here too.
Yeah. Same in Boston. Boston's like the worst. I drove a trip that usually takes me 20 minutes at night, and I drove it at rush hour. It took an hour and a half today. Yeah. I was like, this can't be happening to me.
It's true.
Bumper to bumper the whole way.
That's why I live in the sticks.
There you go.
You're a smart man. You're
stay
a wiser
home.
man.
Stay home. Go to the little like that Reading Ridge store and go back home.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
The one
Enjoy
store.
that. Enjoy the
All right, gentlemen.
Thank you. Great to see you guys.
Good to see you all at GMTV show 167. We'll be one step closer to being out of the 60s. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Oh, good
this
question,
is fun.
Ed.
Great to see you
This
guys.
is
Next
interminable.
Thursday,
The 60s
Ed,
are interminable here.
For you.
What about next Thursday, Wilbert?
Next Thursday
That's Thanksgiving.
is
Where you
Thanksgiving.
playing?
Oh,
So,
That's Thanksgiving.
are we doing it? I don't know if we're doing it. We'll talk
okay,
about it.
so you'll decide.
Oh,
So,
if it's
Ed, so
Thanksgiving,
people at home.
I'm not doing it.
We're not doing it. We'll see you all after.
I probably won't be with you next Thursday, but maybe
We'll
Dan
see
will
you
after
all after. Have great turkey. Good to
If
see
I
you
make
all.
it, I'll be drunk as fuck. So
There you go.
Oh, in that case,
then we're
let's do it.
definitely doing it.
All right.
I'm in.
Oh my God! All right, great to see you all on Jam TV.
Take care, you guys.
And, happy
See you
Thanksgiving.
now.
Bye. We're out of drop now.
Yeah, taking a stand.
Oh, wow.